Hey, class, welcome back. We are still talking about Westward Expansion. We're talking about the Louisiana Purchase today. And if you look right here, it doubled the size of the United States. Okay, you had the 13 colonies, and then in 1803, Thomas Jefferson bought this land from Napoleon for $15 million, 828,000 square miles. And it averages out to be about 4 cents per acre. So I wish we could still buy land for that cheap today. But that's what we're talking about today and how it affected and moved us west towards manifest destiny. So, like I said, it doubled the size in one purchase. It was the single largest purchase of land ever by the United States, and it doubled the size of the country. Westward Expansion, Louisiana Purchase. With the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, the United States acquired a large area of land from the French. It was the single largest purchase of land ever by the United States and doubled the size of the country. So, how much did it cost? Thomas Jefferson wanted to buy the settlement of New Orleans from the French, but because it was a major seaport and it was fed by the Mississippi River, and so it was important. It was very important. So he went to Robert Livingston, the U.S. Minister to France, to try to buy the land, but Napoleon refused to begin with. How much did it cost? Thomas Jefferson wanted to buy the settlement of New Orleans from the French. It was a major seaport that was fed from the Mississippi River, making it important to many American businesses. He sent Robert Livingston, the U.S. Minister to France, to try and buy the land from the French Emperor Napoleon. But like I said, he refused at first. He had hopes of creating his own big empire, which included the Americas. But soon he had troubles in Europe, and he needed money. So James Monroe traveled to France to work with Robert Livingston. And in 1803, Napoleon said, "Okay, I will and sell you the entire Louisiana Territory for $15 million." But like I said, he needed the money. Some things that came up in Europe. He was fighting the Haitians over here, and they'd won a battle. So it was $15 million what he offered it for because he was needing it. At first, Napoleon refused to sell. He had hopes of creating a massive empire that included the Americas. However, soon Napoleon began to have troubles in Europe, and he needed money desperately. James Monroe traveled to France to work with Robert Livingston. In 1803, Napoleon offered to sell the entire Louisiana Territory to the United States for $15 million. So how big was this territory? Like I said, it totaled 828,000 square miles, and all or part would later become 15 different American states. All right, it doubled the size of the United States, and it made us it was one of the biggest in the world. I can't even see. Made a major world nation. All right, they turned it into a major world nation with this. How big was it? The Louisiana Purchase was huge. It totaled 828,000 square miles, and all or part of what would later become 15 different states. It doubled the size of the United States and made it a major world nation. All right. So the borders of it, if you look right here, all right, it stretched from the Mississippi River in the east to the Rocky Mountains in the west. And the southernmost tip was the port city of New Orleans, all right, down at the bottom, and the Gulf of Mexico. And to the north, it included much of Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, and all the way to the border of Canada. So it was a very big territory. And like I said, it nearly doubled the size of the United States. Borders. The Louisiana Purchase stretched from the Mississippi River in the east to the Rocky Mountains in the west. Its southernmost tip was the port city of New Orleans and the Gulf of Mexico. To the north, it included much of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Montana up to the border of Canada. All right. So he had opposition to this. So Thomas Jefferson did. Some of the leaders in the United States, they were against the Louisiana Purchase. They thought he didn't have the right to make such a large purchase of land. That they thought we'd be at war with Spain over the land before long. So the purchase almost didn't go through Congress. It almost didn't pass. It only passed by the vote of 59 to 57. Opposition. At the time, many leaders in the United States were against the Louisiana Purchase. They thought that Thomas Jefferson didn't have the right to make such a large purchase of land and that we would soon be at war with Spain over the land. The purchase was nearly canceled by Congress and only passed by the vote of 59 to 57. All right, so after he bought this land, he said, okay, we got to go explore this land. We got to go map out what's in this new land that we haven't explored yet. So he got Lewis and Clark. He got them to go to the Meriwether Lewis and Clark to go uh, explore all this land and map out not only the park, but they looked at different animal species and what they could find and all this other stuff. So and they went all the way to the Pacific Ocean. All right. They also had the Pike expedition that was led by Zebulon Pike, and it explored the Great Plains and then the Colorado, where they discovered Pike's Peak, and then they had the Red River expedition, which explored the Southwest. So all of these different expeditions went on, but the most famous one is Lewis and Clark's expedition. Exploration. President Jefferson organized expeditions to explore the new land. The most famous expedition was that of Lewis and Clark. They traveled up the Missouri River and eventually went all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Another expedition was the Pike expedition, led by Zebulon Pike, which explored the Great Plains into Colorado, where they discovered Pike's Peak. There was also the Red River expedition, which explored the Southwest. All right, comprehension questions. What was the Louisiana Purchase? Was it A, land bought from France that doubled the size of the United States? Was it B, tea taxes? Or C, food from Louisiana? It was A, land bought from France. It was purchased from Napoleon for $15 million. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. All right, number two, how much did Napoleon sell the Louisiana Territory for? How much did it cost Thomas Jefferson to purchase Louisiana Territory? Was it A, $1, B, $15 million, or C, $50? It is B, $15 million. $15 million, it equaled out to 828,000 square miles, 4 cents per acre. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Number three, how big was Louisiana Purchase? A, was it 500 square miles? B, 100 square miles? Or C, 828,000 square miles? It was 828,000 square miles. This whole purchase here, all of this land, is what he bought for $15 million. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Number four, what other country did the Louisiana Purchase border? Was it A, Canada, B, Brazil, or C, Australia? It was A, Canada. It bordered at the top of it. It bordered Canada at the very top. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. And number five, who explored the Louisiana Purchase? Was it A, Lewis and Clark, B, Geddes and Mooney, or C, Jefferson and Adams? It was A, Lewis and Clark were the two explorers he sent out. One of them was his private secretary. He sent out to explore this area of land all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and they did manage to do it. We'll talk about that later. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. All right, class, that is all for today. Be sure to go on Schoology, go through this, turn it in, get your credit, and I will see you next time talking about the Lewis and Clark expedition.